Hello, my name is Ben.
My name is Josh.
And welcome back to FPL Graduates.
So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Game Week 2 and reviewing what went down.
Wow, and what a game week it was. What was it? About 44 goals in total. It was a record for a Premier League weekend. And, well, assets were returning left, right and centre.
Yeah, but was it our assets? Let's have a look now.
So, I feel a bit indifferent about my game week. I had 7 players in total return some sort of points, whether that be defensive or attacking returns, which is more than last week. However, I fell short of last week's total due to my captain pick. Yeah, so I captained Aubameyang for this week. I was sure that he was going to do bits against West Ham, but Arsenal struggled to break down that West Ham team, and it ended up with just a 10 points for me on Aubameyang. The player who I'm most happy about though, who kind of pushed that game week from below average to an average score, was Phil Foden and his 9-pointer against Wolves.
Yeah, he had a very good game against Wolves. His goal came very easily. I think anyone on that team could have tapped him, but he was in the right place in the right time, and most importantly, he started, which is a big and good sign going into future game weeks.
Yeah, as soon as I put John Egan on the bench and he got that red card, and I was very happy about it, but it all was reliant on Foden getting minutes, and he did, so I'm buzzing with that. And yeah, Pep Roulette, first week I've been playing it, and
you
come out on top. Another player who has impressed me a lot in my team was James Justin. He looked so attacking every time he was getting forward. Him and Castagna had the most touches in the opposition box in that game. They had 6 compared to Vardy's 3 inside the penalty area. So it just shows they're going to get more attacking returns than Vardy potentially this season.
Definitely. Leicester look really interesting and one to keep an eye on for sure. They obviously have Manchester City next week, which is not ideal in terms of bringing in players for this week, but I think in future game weeks, especially Castagna, because he's obviously going to be playing week in, week out, even when Pereira comes back, he's definitely one to keep an eye on. Okay, so moving on to my team, we got a very below average score of 48 points, that's 11 below the average this week. We saw so many players return, bringing loads of double-digit hauls, which I just didn't have any of them basically. So Matt Ryan in goal, 6 points, you love to see it. Trent got a defensive return and a bonus point, which was decent. He looked quite threatening against Chelsea. I was tempted to captain him before the game week, which I should have done because he would have got 14, as I captained Aubameyang as well, who obviously got 10 points as Ben mentioned. I played a back 5 this week, which everyone slated me for, and probably rightly so. I got Eric Dyer on a 1-pointer, Chris Basham on a 2, which was very unlucky as he got brought down for the penalty. If he didn't get brought down, he probably would have scored. And then Lundstrom missed the penalty, so there was no assist there. And then obviously Aston Villa went on to score and win that game 1-0. Jamal Lewis on a 0 because obviously they conceded 2. He got booked as well. And then he's also a doubt for next week with the eye injury that he got from Basuma. Charlie Taylor did get an assist, but they conceded 4, so he was on a 3. My midfield, lacklustre. How much money that was in there? Salah 3, Bruno 2, Aubameyang obviously 5 without the captaincy. Not good enough for me, and expect a lot more hauls from them in the future. And then Werner up front, 2-pointer. Again, unlucky not to return after that Jorginho missed penalty, would have got the assist. And then the main man this week, Alexander Mitrovic with a 12-pointer. Without him, we'll be looking very, very deep and dark. Honourable mentions, Dean Garner with a 7-pointer on the bench. Very good goal, unlucky not to have him in, but it was the choice I decided to make, and I've just got to live with that really. And a really interesting one is Oliver Burke for Sheffield United, 4.5 million midfielder, off the bench, started up front, played the full 90, McGoldrick got taken off instead of him, so maybe an option in the future if he starts maybe getting better game time.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been knee-jerking reactions in terms of players that haven't returned, such as Timo Werner, seeing him in your team. I'd keep him in because he looked dangerous. The next 3 fixtures for Chelsea are looking tasty, with lots of goals going to be conceded. We've seen West Brom concede loads. Southampton, they've got in the next 3 game weeks, they're conceding loads. So it's only a matter of time before Werner produces that double-digit haul.
Yeah, I'd like to say, although my score this week is not great, but you're not going to see 44 goals every weekend, and I think on a different weekend you'd see this team definitely return a lot more than it has this weekend.
Yeah, I think for my team, I'm pretty happy with it. Even I was looking at it and I thought to start with it's going to be a horrendous week because I transferred out Son. I was not looking good, but then I've just got so many returns that it just picked it up. I'll take it on a budget, and it also means I'm taking a bit of a lead against you in that.
You're already. It's about 10 or 15 points, something like that now at the minute. So obviously not ideal for me, but I think this midfield, it's got to return big at some stage. I think it could be next week.
Yeah. So, let's move on to next week. Josh, have you made any transfers this week? And if so, who are you looking to bring in?
So, I have already made my transfer. I made it Monday night as there was rumours of a massive price rise on the player that I'm bringing in. So, I decided to transfer out Aubameyang. He has an awful run of fixtures the next 6 games. They face, I think, 4 of the top 6 and then Sheffield United and someone else in there. So I took out him and I brought in Kevin De Bruyne. He got a 15-pointer against Wolves, which was quite unexpected to be honest, and he just looked unreal.
Yeah, so in terms of my transfers, I have taken my first hit of the season. I've taken a -4, and for good reason, so hear me out guys, hear me out. So to start with, I've also taken out Aubameyang. He's the most transferred out player of the game week by far. And I've also brought in Kevin De Bruyne. I made this transfer 10 minutes after the City game finished. I brought him because, first of all, he's on penalties. Second of all, City are going to get lots of penalties this season. And third of all, it's crazy the sort of penalties everyone's getting at the moment. So
yeah,
he looked very creative as well. So I thought no-brainer to bring him in. He's already risen up 0.1. And I could probably see him rising again in the near future.
Yeah, it would not surprise me if he goes up all 0.3.
And the reason why I've taken the hit is I've brought out John Egan because he's out for 2 games suspended because he got a straight red card, and I brought in Reece James of Chelsea. Now I believe that I'll be able to make up that 4 points difference across those 2 games that Reece James is playing. I believe he'll at least defensively return in 1 out of the 2 games that Egan is suspended for, so I believe that is a good decision for me to make.
Yeah, big call. Reece James obviously started ahead of Aspi at the minute, so you could get mugged off by Frank Lampard playing Aspi over Reece James.
I don't think that'll happen. I think he's putting his trust in him. He's returned well, he's played well, let's not forget that. And yeah, I think he will return more than the 4 points that it took for a hit over 2 game weeks.
I agree with that. I think you've gone very brave trusting that Chelsea defence after watching them against Liverpool, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, they only conceded 2 with 10 men
they gave
against the best attacking side in the league. No. So I'm sticking by that decision. Josh is going to disagree all he wants. I know myself. It's going to get me returns, and it's going to push me even further ahead of it.
Okay, so we're just going to briefly talk about who we might captain next week. It's not for sure yet. Obviously, there's still a week to go until the next fixtures and a lot of Carabao Cup games in between. So, for me, the main standouts has got to be Timo Werner away to West Brom. They are leaking goals like nobody's business. Salah at home to Arsenal because he loves scoring against them. Villa, Mitrovic at home to Villa. Obviously, they look quite sound defensively, but I like the way Fulham attack, to be honest. I think they're looking quite decent attackingly. Yeah,
Mitrovic is definitely a good option and definitely one I'm considering. I'm also considering Werner as my captain pick, but I'm not considering Salah for this week because Arsenal recently have looked quite good against top 6 sides, so I think maybe it is a bit of a risk to take. We know Salah loves scoring against Arsenal, so we'll have to wait and see about that one. My other option is going to be Kevin De Bruyne. As we know, Leicester conceded 2 against Burnley, and who knows how many goals that he can score against that Leicester side. I think it's going to be a really attacking and open game, so that could be my captain option.
Yeah, and let's not forget you also have, if you have the likes of the Everton assets, Calvert-Lewin, I think he has Crystal Palace away from home this week. Again, a very good fixture for him, and after returning a hat-trick, you almost bet that he'll probably score this week as well. Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see about that one. Everton are looking on fire, so any Everton attacker is probably a good captain choice this week. Right, so that has been the weekend's roundup with the FPL Graduates. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe. Follow our TikTok, Twitter, all of that good stuff.
Yeah. My name's been Josh,
I've been Ben.
and we'll catch you all
Later.